Testing, 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 coming through. Thank you for joining the stream. I will be with you shortly, very shortly. All right, all right. So I think I could turn the camera on. Let's take a look. Make sure everything is up and up. So I go from here to, and this is a test. So just keep that in mind. Boom. So here I am on the camera. Maybe I could slide a little to the left, bring the mic with me because the mic sounds so awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here. As always, I'm appreciative because you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you are here with me. And always, 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 I appreciate that. This is pretty much going to be a test in terms of how I'm going to be doing my live, how I'm going to be conducting my live streams moving forward, specifically on the topics of time management, productivity, organization, goal setting, including SMART goals, positive self-image, productivity, progress, all that good stuff that will help you get into a direction of clarity. You know, what you see in your head, what you see in your mind. I want to help you bring that to reality, as they call manifestation. So with that said, I'm hoping that, you know, some people come in, ask some questions about organization, about time management, about just what can I do in order to have a more clear vision on where I'm going, what my purpose in this world is. And there are numerous things that play a factor into realizing what your actual purpose is, what your goals are. But before you get into looking at what your goals are, you want to step back, inhale, exhale, and create a list of all the things that you currently have and start, you know, expressing gratitude for those things. The things that you have, the things that you do, the people you know, the relationships you have. Create a list of all the things that you're grateful for. I think that's a good place to start. I don't think that's the best place to start. So you're not creating a list of goals with the mindset of lack or lacking. So you're going in the mindset of setting goals with the intent that you are contributing to what you already have. Okay, so that's one of the most important things to keep in mind. But yeah, so that's just something to start with right there. You want to start with identifying all the things that you're grateful for. And once you create that list, moving forward, you want to go over things that are of interest to you. Things that, let's put it like this. So in my program, I'm in my master's program, graduate program. It's called Industrial Organizational Psychology. And what that essentially means is being able to help organizations improve their functionality, not just on an organizational level, but on an individual level. Understanding what creates a great work environment, understanding what contributes to great organization structure. And that just goes back to goal setting, goes back to assessing, job analysis, also, you know, surveys, taking assessments and things like that. So those are some of the things. But in it, we look at these. It's a term called KSAs, knowledge, skills, and abilities. And when you can identify your KSAs, it becomes that much more easier to set goals. But again, you go from your list of what you're grateful for, but then you move forward and you go to what are your KSAs. And I would add KSA, I would add I to the KSA. So what are your KSAIs? Your knowledge, skills, abilities, and interests. And so you're looking at those. I don't care what it is. If you like to cook, if you know how to cook, if you know how to play a video game, you know how to play a video game. If you know how to, make a bed. I don't care if you know how to make cereal. Whatever your skills are, you list as many of them as possible. Okay. And when you list as many skills as possible, you go from having, okay, so let me backtrack. So first you want to list your KSAs. And again, I will add I to that. So this KSAIs, which stands for knowledge, skills, abilities, and interests. All right. Once you list your KSAIs, you're going to be able to identify what you are most talented at. You're going to be able to identify what you're most interested in, what you're most skilled at, what your abilities are, etc. And when you identify that, you move from that to your goals. And how do you go over your goals? Well, what would you like to do with any of those knowledge, skills, abilities, and interests? What would you like to do? Just write them. Try to come up with at least between 20 to 25. And when you do that, from there, you're going to be able to, it's going to take some time too. So let me put that out there. It's not going to be the easiest thing. I mean, for some people it is, to each his own. But you're going to pretty much go over that list. You're going to identify what you are most interested in. And then out of that 20 to 25 list of 20 to 25 things, you're going to create a top 5. Okay. And out of that top 5, actually, let me take a quick break and I'll be right back. All right, all right. And I am back. Now, let me get right back into it. And I want to start over because I do think that it is important for individuals to understand the process because it is a process. So you're going to go from what you are grateful for. You're going to create a list of all the things you're grateful for. All right. And then you're going to go over a list of your KSAs, and I say KSAIs, knowledge, skills, abilities, and interests. And then from there, you're going to write down a list of goals that you would like to accomplish based off of those KSAs. And then in those goals, you're going to create SMART goals, which stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Now, once you create those SMART goals, within that SMART goal, you're going to create an action plan. And the action plan is essentially how you're going to make those SMART goals come to fruition. At the end of those SMART goals, at the end of those at the end of that action plan, then you will create what I call the roadmap. Well, people call it the roadmap. I call it a life path map, LPM for short. And this is a breakdown which provides you with clarity on how you're going to make something happen. It's also going to give you insight on making you feel like you know what your purpose is here on this blue planet that we call Earth. And yeah, you move forward towards your goals with more passion and more commitment. So that's pretty much what it essentially does in regards to having those goals. All right. So let's start over. First, before even getting into your goals, before getting into any goal setting, you're going to write down a list of all the things that you are grateful for. It could be relationships. It can be your health. It can be your video games. It could be your music equipment. It could be your baseball equipment. I don't care what it is. Every single thing that you can possibly think of. Just create a large, lengthy list of all the things you're grateful for. because before going into what your goals are, you don't want to go into that with the mindset of without. You don't want to go into it with the mindset of lacking. Okay. So you write down a list of things that you're grateful for. Moving, and then next, you're going to go into your KSAs. Again, knowledge, skills, and abilities. And I would include I's, which is interest. So what are you knowledgeable on? Okay. What are you skillful at? What are your abilities? And then what are your interests? You write down a long list, whatever those things are, you write them down. All right. And then from there, you go to your goal. You go to your goals. And your goals are usually going to be based off of what your KSAs are. And remember, that list that you're grateful for, you're pretty much coming up with goals. So you're saying, I want this I want to accomplish this in addition to the things that I already have, the things that I'm already grateful for. Okay. So you write down your goals. And again, those should be based off of what your KSAIs are. And then after you write down your goals, you write down the SMART goals for each of those. No, before you go there, your goals, you're going to create a list of your goals, preferably between 20 to 25 goals. Once you write down the list of those goals, you're going to create a top 5. Those will be your priority. Okay. And your priority goals are what you're going to either determine whether they're short-term, long-term, etc. From those goals, you create SMART goals out of those goals, which means they're going to be specific, they're going to be measurable, they're going to be attainable, they're going to be relevant, and they're going to be time-bound. Okay? Once you write down those SMART goals, from there, you're going to create an action plan. And this action plan is pretty much going to lay out how you're going to accomplish those SMART goals. From those SMART goals, you're going to go into what people call a roadmap, what I call a life path map, LPM for short. And this life path map is essentially there to give you direction and guide you on your path to success, on your path to accomplishing those said goals. So that's the breakdown. Okay. That's the roadmap to, and this is my first time thinking about this, but that is the roadmap to finding your purpose right there. Now, once you find your purpose, you're going to need a schedule, and that's where time management comes in. Okay. This means you're going to have to figure out how and when, not only how. This means you're not going to. So, okay, let me start over. So after you've created your roadmap, you're going to have to include time management, which means you're not only going to come up with how you're going to accomplish your goals, but when you're going to put forth the effort to achieving them. So you're thinking about, how often do you sleep? How much time do you spend sleeping? How much time do you spend at your day job? How much time do you spend showering? How much time do you spend eating? How much time do you spend socializing? All right. So let's break it down real simple. 8 hours you sleep. 8 hours you work, right? That's already 16 hours, which means you have 8 left. Out of those 8, let's say 1 hour goes to grooming. So you got 7 hours left. That means showering, brushing your teeth, getting dressed. And then let's say another hour goes to eating, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That leaves you with 6 hours left. Out of those 6 hours, how much time are you going to spend speaking with friends and family? Let's say out of the day, you're going to spend another hour talking to friends and family. That leaves you with 5 hours left. All right. So now, do you play video games? Do you work out? Do you have a pet? Do you have children? All of these things take into account how much extra time you're going to spend and how much time you have left in that day. And when you create a schedule, that is when you can break down what is priority to you. Okay. And when you can break down what is priority to you, you can easily and more conveniently establish a time management mechanism that will pretty much create more clarity to your lifestyle. And that's essentially what time management is in a nutshell. Creating schedules, knowing that. Also, you got to know when to take breaks. That's very true. You have to, have a schedule, but you also have to be able to step back and say, okay, I think I've been working too hard at this. I think it's time to take a break. 50 minutes preferably. You work on something at 50 minutes at a time, then you take a 10-minute break. Get back into whatever it is, 10-minute break. Boom, boom. But, everybody's different. Everybody has different approaches. And these are just some tips that I'm actually sharing. And I don't think that most of the prominent figures in this field would disagree. From Brian Tracy to Les Brown to, obviously Bob Proctor, Jordan Peterson. There are a lot of people who passed away that I watched, but one of the ones that I absolutely miss is Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer, he has a movie called The Shift. When I say if you are in a situation where you feel like you're lacking clarity on life, you want to do something, but you don't think you have enough time or resources, or people won't believe in you, watch The Shift. It is one of the most life-transforming movies you can possibly watch, in my opinion. There are other movies, obviously, but it's more of a movie/documentary. So I don't want to put it in a category with like Pursuit of Happiness or anything like that. But it's really awesome. It's really awesome. So yeah. So I hope that people come through and ask me questions, because here I am. It's just you and me, the camera, and I. And we are just having a chat about organization, time, leadership, being the best version of yourself, positive image, having that positive image of yourself, so that when people look at you, the funny thing about that is people tend to look at you the way you look at yourself. And this is one of the key aspects of positive image. How you see yourself is how others will see you. So you want to make sure that you see yourself as beautiful, whether it's handsome or gorgeous or stunning or fabulous. That's how you should be looking at yourself, right? That's one. Two, you should feel confident because you've survived 100% of your bad times, which means you can get through almost anything, right? And I think that's one of the other reasons why we tend not to look at ourselves with that positive outlook, is because we don't realize how much we've gone through and how much we've overcome. So keep that in mind, too, when it comes to positive self-image. And also, take a look back. Just reflect. Hindsight. Think about all the compliments you've gotten, all the smiles, all the laughs, all the hugs, all the I miss yous that you've received, all the accomplishments that you've, all of it. And with that, this should hopefully contribute to you feeling like you are a being that matters. You do matter. And you should look at yourself as if you matter. Okay? So that's just something else to keep in mind when it comes to positive self-image. And I'm not just, thinking about it from a perspective of external, like what people can give you. It's all about what's going on within you. And that's what really matters, how you see yourself. So keep that in mind with positive self-image. I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be right back within 3 minutes. And I am back. I am back. I am back. And, there are there are a lot of things that go into streaming that I'm still learning. I've been streaming for the past 3 years now on different platforms, on different channels. And this is my first time streaming on YouTube on my Roadmaps coach page, which is this page, James Elijah Ingram. And that's me. But if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll try to answer them as soon as I see them. But one of the reasons why I'm getting into roadmaps coaching is because of my graduate school program, which is Industrial Organizational Psychology. I attend the Chicago School of Professional Psychology here in Los Angeles. It's located downtown, but a lot of my classes are also online, so it's a hybrid model. But it touches a lot on goal setting, a lot on productivity, a lot on time management, a lot on identifying your KSAs, which are knowledge, skills, and abilities. And I like to add I to that for interest, KSAI, so knowledge, skills, abilities, and interest. But in it, there are various ways that you can actually benefit from being an organizational coach, which is what I am. And one of those ways is providing information to individuals who don't feel like they have a path. You provide guidance. As the quote says, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Or you can teach a man to fish. You feed him for a day. Teach a man you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You teach a man how to fish, you feed that man for life. So these are just some of the things that come to mind when it comes to providing these insights on how to come about. And this all comes and stems from the Industrial and Organizational Psychology program. I speak with consultants because that's mainly what it entails, is consulting or HR. A lot of people who have an industrial and organizational psychology degree, they are in the field of HR, human resources. So they do provide information on what can contribute to a more seamlessly functioning environment or work environment, but they also help with hiring and firing individuals at the end of the day. And what I'm trying to avoid is individuals from getting fired, right? Like, I want to make sure that you stand out in whatever it is that you do. If you're working, I want you to stand out at your job. If you're doing streaming, I want you to stand out at streaming. I'm working on it myself. Obviously I can't do too much in a studio apartment, but I have some goals on how I'm going to make this thing look, in terms of my background, in terms of, audio, in terms of visual. But I could have used those as excuses. That's the thing. But I didn't. I didn't say I'm going to wait until I get better audio. I didn't say I'm going to wait until I get a better camera. I said I'm going to start streaming right now with what I have. And build on that, I didn't know that you could stream with 50 subscribers. And I just reached 50 subscribers. So I want to thank each and every last one of you who have subscribed and contributed, whether it's through likes, whether it's through comments, sharing the video, whatever you've done, I appreciate you. And it's just about really just going after what you feel you should be doing. You can go back to the beginning of the video where I talk about how to align yourself with what is relevant to your life, because that's what it comes down to. What your goals are should be relevant to what you have knowledge on, skills, what you're skilled at, what your abilities are, and what your interests are. Those should help identify your goals. There's also, so I talked about time management, okay? I talked about goal setting, SMART goals, action plan, life path map, and, productivity. How about empowerment, which is when someone is giving permission to do something, right? Like, I'm going to empower you to do X, Y, and Z. Whatever it is, you have to empower yourself. Do not wait on someone else to empower you. Although that can be extremely helpful. That's what I'm here for. I don't call myself a motivational speaker, by the way. I call myself a speaker of empowerment. But you have to empower yourself before you have to allow others to empower you in order for you to empower yourself. And it can go both ways. You can empower yourself first and then allow others to fuel that flame. Or if you don't feel empowered, you have to create space to allow others to empower you so you can feel more motivated, even though I don't like to use the term motivation because motivation is temporary. But nevertheless, whatever works for you is the best route to take. This is interesting because, like I said, it's my first time streaming. I never thought that I would get to this point so early. I thought that I needed 100 subscribers, and here I am streaming live on YouTube. And it's just a wonderful feeling. I'm just appreciative. I'm appreciative. No, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm doing this out of passion, out of love, out of a commitment to improving myself, improving my knowledge. Because the more that I talk about it, the more I'm knowledgeable on the topic, and that's something else that a lot of people need to keep in mind is talk to people about what you're doing, as long as it's not too private. I know some people don't like to share their inspiration or their aspirations because they feel like people might SHIT on their goals, which is possible. And you got to just be, got to use your best judgment when it comes to who you want to talk to about these things. But the more you talk about it, the more fluid you become, in that field. So that's something else that I wanted to just, touch on. Yeah. So I got 6 more months in my program. It sucks because I have to take these 3 courses that I'm taking now, and they end at the end of April. I get May off, and then I have to take 1 class in June for the month of June. Then I'll be completely finished, and I will have graduated with a master's degree in industrial organizational psychology. But nevertheless, it's going to be here before we know it. So I got to get ready to pay those student loans, which, it is what it is. But yeah, we are just, chopping away, just talking. And I just look forward to, actually being official, certified, although I do believe that I already am official. But there's so much more to learn, and there will always be so much more to learn. That's the beauty of learning. That's the beauty of this journey of life, is it's never ending. And when it comes to this journey of life, It's just about being the best, striving to be the best version of yourself. That's what it comes down to. Are you striving to be the best version of yourself? And if so, I applaud you. I applaud you. Because not too many people are doing that. Most people they're okay with being average. Is being average okay? Yes, by all means. If that's what you want to do with your life, be average. But we don't want to be like the majority of people. We want to be ourselves. We want to be individuals, right? And in that, going back to goal setting, you look at 7 key aspects of your life that you should be actually setting goals in. And that's another thing to think about. So key aspects, you got health. And then each one of these, by the way, before I even continue, each one of these categories have subcategories. And those subcategories have subcategories. Okay? So let's get into it. So let's say health. All right? Family. Okay? Career, spiritual, finances, education, and social. Those are the 7 key areas in which you should be striving to set goals. Now, if you are interested in what those subcategories are and what the subcategories of the subcategories are, I'm in the process of creating a work plan that will help individuals set clear goals, smart goals, and essentially make your lives easier. That's what I'm here for. Roadmaps coach, your organizational coach. Just putting everything in alignment with making your life easier, making you feel like you're here for a reason. When I say here, I mean on earth. Yeah, that's just what it comes down to, right? Like, but for example, when I say there are subcategories, so you say health. So in health, you have mental health, you have dental health, you have physical health, you have skin health. You know what I mean? You have bone health. You could be as specific as possible by breaking down each subcategory. So you say, okay, with health, you got, let's say, physical health. Let's say you say physical health. Okay, how is your conditioning? Can you run a mile under 10 minutes? You know, so you say conditioning is under physical health. How are your can you jump? You know what I mean? Can you squat? How much can you lift? How many push-ups can you do? These are all subcategories of physical health. And you got mental health. And then you say, well, how many subcategories can there be under mental health? So, what's your mood? You know, are you in a happy state of mind? Are you in a happy mindset? What's your memory like? You know, are you able to remember people's faces and names? Or are you able to find the correct words that can help you articulate the messages that you're trying to deliver? You know, and there are a lot of things that you can do to assist with that, such as, you know, crossword puzzles, learning different languages, having more conversations, reading. There are different things that you can do to contribute to the improvement of each of these subcategories. And this is what goal setting is about. And this is why I'm here to remind y'all and to remind myself as well, I'm included, as to what are some of the necessary steps that we can take in order to be the best version of ourselves. Okay. But I've been going on for a while. Let's see how long I've been going. 27 minutes. It feels like it's been longer than that. No, 42 minutes ago. Yeah. So I've been streaming for 42 minutes. This is pretty interesting. I can't wait to get a vibe as to, you know, what it will look like in the future. You know, how I'm going to set up my background. I'm already visualizing it. It's on my vision board. And yeah. And right now I'm having a technical difficulty. I should be able to hear the audio that I'm, you know, doing, but I put the headphones in, it wasn't working, which is why I don't have headphones on right now. But when I figure that out, it's going to be even crazier because I'm going to include music, maybe visuals, and yeah, I'm just going to improve. Every time I stream, I'm going to look for something that I could have done better. And this is just the beginning. This is literally just the beginning. But it's all about time management, goal setting, productivity, positive self-image. How can we get to success in a more convenient fashion? That's what it's about. So with that said, I want to thank you for being here because you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you are here with me. And as always, I appreciate that. So until next time, peace.